Alright, welcome back to episode 2 of the new player guide for 4.0. So today we're going to do a little rock mining on selling. So you have a couple options. If you're going to do rock mining and you don't own a rock or a ship to transport it, you can rent a cutter, which is about 50,000. The rock is about 2 or 3,000. So for under 55, you can rent both. And then the other option is a nomad. And between the rock and the nomad, you're looking at 35 or less. So it's really just a matter of what you want to do. Now, I should mention the Cutlass Black. You can actually buy a 1SCU container and put in it, and then unload your rock into it. If you go with the Nomad, you will have to either find another way to store it, possibly in the ship. I don't remember if you can or not, or leave it in the rock, which limits how much you can do. For short trips, that's probably fine, but it's almost worth the extra 20 grand to be able to carry a 1SCU crate with you. So basically, just like regular mining, you'll drop that on the planet somewhere, preferably nowhere near any places that people populate. So we're looking for basically no man's land, nowhere. Drop down to the planet, and typically in decoupled. Once you see the altitude come up, then you'll go ahead and go back to coupled, and you'll switch to SEM mode, and that'll slow you down so you don't hit the planet. And then you'll fly down to, I don't know, roughly about 1 kilometer above the surface, whatever you're comfortable with. And then you'll start pinging for location. If you see anything pop up that's over 5K away, then that's going to be ship mining rocks. We're looking for stuff that pops up at 5K or less. That's usually going to be rock minables. So, and depending on where you go, sometimes it can be fast, sometimes it'll be slow. If you don't have a problem with pyro, one of our viewers actually said that Ignis is the place to go. That you can find a lot of Hadanite there. But basically, I'm just going to sell, and so I'm just going to show you the mechanics. Maybe at some point later, I'll do a video over at Ignis or one of the other planets or moons over at Pyro. So off to the right there, you see a marker, but that popped up over 5K, so we know that's not rock mineable. And it could be hit or miss. Like this one here is 7K plus, 9K plus. So we know those aren't rock minables. So basically you just come down here and you keep pinging until something comes up. I want to say, if I remember right, the number up above the scanner there, the 1920, that's actually where it will show the RS signature for whatever the deposit is. And I believe the rock minables are like a multiple of like 6 or 620. Nope. And I mean, all these ship minables, I mean, obviously that's why I usually come here with the prospector. It by far, in Stanton anyway, it by far has more prospector sized rocks than anywhere else. And that'll probably be the next episode. Probably be prospector mining. So what I usually recommend is rent the Cutlass Black and the rock. Do that for a day or two. Make a good bit of money, because that way when you go into prospector mining, you can actually refine it. And it's going to be twice as valuable as if you sell it through ore sales. Now, with that being said, don't be afraid to sell the ore if you need to build money. Obviously, if you get like a really good load of something that's like primarily like tier 1 and tier 2, or tier 1 mainly. So let's say Quantanium or Vexillite, Terranite, or Gold. If you get a load that's primarily that stuff, then I would go ahead and refine that. Alright, so here we've got a rock mineable that popped up at the last minute. So we'll see what it is here. And that's going to be Hadanite. So let's go ahead and get that. It only looks like 6 or 7 rocks. So it's kind of a smaller outcropping, but that's alright. And yes, I realized afterwards that I actually landed on the patch of rocks. So, but we'll get the rock out and then we'll go ahead and move the ship. But being as I'm doing the voiceover on this after the fact, unfortunately don't always have the option of recording audio while I'm playing. So I usually have to go back after the fact and voice over it when everybody's gone or at school or work and it's just me. Otherwise all you would hear is the kid banging around or the wife stomping around or the dogs barking. Alright, so there we go. So we'll go pull this back here a little bit. Okay. There you go. Now we see it. So go ahead and pull off to the side here, and then we'll pull the ship forward. Obviously, you get around this by being more aware where the rocks are. I was a little distracted when I landed. But it's all good. We'll get it moved. We'll get it all broken, picked up. Alright, and we don't have to move too far. Just like a ship length or two away. Because once we're done picking this up, we're going to want to get back in the Cutlass Black and go. I believe the Cutlass Black is about 2 million, 2.1 million to buy, if I remember right. But you can rent it for about 50 grand. I think like 50 or 51, 52, something like that. But all told, you're looking at about 55k included for the ROC and the Cutlass Black. The ROC itself can actually be purchased for about 103,000 at Loreville. So if you like rock mining after you do this, that might be an option for you. Pick up a rock, then you just have to rent the Cutlass Black or a Nomad or something, and then save up so you can buy a ship to transport it. Your options are typically going to be on the low end around Cutlass Black up through, I don't know. Well, I mean, you can go as big as you want, but typically most people, if you're just single rock miners, you're just going to do like a Cutlass Black or a Spirit C1 or something along those lines. Alright, so much like mining, which you'll see if you haven't before in our other episodes, we basically charge the rock up until it's in the green, and then we hold it there. And then to extract, you'll hit left alt and the left mouse button, and that'll switch over to extract. And then you just hit left mouse button to turn it on and off. Same thing with the laser when you're braking. So you'll hit left alt and left mouse to go back to fracture, Then you'll just hit the button, and that'll turn it on. And then you'll use your control. I want to say maybe left shift and the wheel maybe changes it. I don't remember for sure. It might be control. But we'll just keep doing this till we broke all the rocks and picked them up. This almost looks like some of these rocks are borderline rock and hand mineable. Not positive on that, but that's the way it seems. I think usually under 50% Hadanite you might be able to do with a multi-tool and a mining head. But we're doing rock mining, but that's why I'm not getting a lot of gems out of it. This is kind of a weak deposit here. But we'll continue on after this and find some more. What you're looking for typically is for about every 300 Hadanite rocks, or gems, not the rocks themselves, but the gems. For about every 300, you're looking at about just under, I think, 100 grand. So as you can imagine, you can, and you get a couple of decent sized deposits, you can go well over that 300. So you could easily make 200,000-300,000 in a couple hours with a rock. I mean, obviously you can do the same thing with a prospector or more. Even if you're just selling the ore, you can do that. But if you're refining it, you can go much more than that. But you have to refine it. You have to wait if you want to make the most money out of it. Whereas rock mining, you can just basically break the rock, pick up the gems, and sell. Much like salvage, it's a quicker way to get money. Now, obviously, if we're taking into account the rental, you're also looking at about 73,000 to rent a prospector, and that's not counting if you decide to pick up a Hofstad S1 or another mining head plus a module to make it more effective. Whereas with the rock, you don't have to worry about any of that. You basically get the rock, something to transport it, and you're good. You can mine on pretty much any planet, any moon. Some are better than others. In Stanton, you're looking at probably the best place is supposed to be Aberdeen, but you need the flame resistant suit or the heat resistant suit. And I'm not sure if you can buy that at the stations anymore. I heard that they had gotten rid of that and you have to get it other places now. So again, we drive it up into the green, hold it there until it breaks. Alright, and then if you get some that are close together like this, just go ahead and break them all and then pick it up. Apparently I need to work on some sound isolation. But we'll get this last one broke and we'll get picked up. Then we'll jump back in the Cutlass Black and see if we can find some more. Now, if you look in the left corner of the screen there, you'll see the CSCU. That's, I believe, Cargo SCU. Takes basically 100 cargo SCU to make 1 SCU. As compared to micro SCU, which is actually takes a lot more. Alright, looks like we got it all now. I don't typically worry about 1s and 2s that are way away or anything like that. So, alright, here we go. So let's go ahead and get loaded back up. Now, I should mention, it seems like the Cuddy Black is a little bit tighter fit than I remember it being. For those of you that already have like a Spirit C1 or something, that works pretty well too. The Nomad is nice because you basically land, put the ramp down, and drive out. But again, like I said, you can't take a crate with you to store stuff in. See if we can get this in here a little straighter. All right, and for some reason I've noticed with the Cuddy Black, it seems to, after you get out of the ROC, it seems to bounce around a little bit. It did used to do, and I don't remember the C1 doing that either. So, especially if you're parked on a slope. All right, so we only got 70 out of that. Ain't a lot, but you figure if 300 is 100 grand, 70 is probably, I don't know, somewhere around what, probably about 20, 25, maybe 20, right around there. Now there's usually more involved with me just doing these videos. Like I'll usually go out without recording and stuff like that, trying to get funds built up. The idea is to take this new player guide from at least from a starter ship up through possibly buying your first bigger ship to make more money. So it'd be like a cargo ship of some sort maybe, or a vulture, or a prospector. Vulture, I believe, is like 2.3 million now, and I want to say I think the prospector is like 2.9. So they've gone up quite a bit, considering the vulture used to be about 1.7. Might have some more rocks here. Let's see what we got. Today I'm also going to be focusing just on Hadanite, because you can get Dolomite and Aphorite, but they really don't pay much. I think I got like 200 or 300 Dolomite the other day, and it wasn't even like 20 grand, I don't think. So I'm not really going to mess with them today. Now, obviously, when I'm out doing this just to make money, I'll usually stop and pick up whatever I can find, just because money is still money, regardless of how little. And in the beginning, you can't really afford to be too picky. Much like rocks from prospector mining, some are easier to break, some are harder. It's the same thing with the different versions, like Hadanite, Aphorite, and Dolomite. You can, like Dolomite's usually pretty easy, Aphorite's usually pretty easy. Hadanite's not too bad, but it can be difficult too when it starts getting up in the 90% range. Like you pretty much have to run the ROC at like 100% on the laser to get it to move. Oh, here we go. Let's see what we got here. And again, I mean, your mileage may vary depending on where you go. You may come across rocks right off the bat, or you may have to like run around for a while and look. All right, let's see what do we got here. That's Hadanite. See if we can find a somewhat decent spot to park here. And you got to put your landing gear down. Forgot that. And then you see I put my ramp down. The reason I do that is because I want to see where the ramp lies once I'm down. Because I want to keep it so that it's easy to get the rock in and out. And if the ramp is too high, you won't be able to. Something like that, I'll be able to get it out pretty easy. But I think I was on a rock there, so we're going to move a little bit. Yep, nope, I'm just in a ravine. Theoretically, I could leave that there, but I don't want to. So we're going to try and back up a little bit here. Probably, yeah, that's not going to work. Maybe turn. Straddle the hill, more or less. There we go. That'll work. All right, turn the engines off. You want to make sure you do that when you're on the planets and moons. And obviously, if you're not rock mining and there's people around, you want to close your doors so they can't get in. Alright. That's the only bad thing about the rock. Get that on the ground, then you got to figure out where you saw it. This is where ping comes in. If you're in the rock or in your ship, it's tab usually, unless you change it to something else. There we go. There's the rocks. This looks like it's going to be a pretty good batch. Alright, so you figure we already had 70. So we just want to get past that 300 mark, and then we can basically almost double the money we spent. So we can make sure we show a profit here. Because that's really what it's all about. You go out mining, if you're going to actually have to spend money to rent something, you want to be able to show that you show a profit from it. So, alright. And then of course, like I said, left alt and left click to go back to fracture. I usually try to remember to store it, fracture, so that way it's not, doesn't catch me off guard. Alright, as you can see, I've got this up higher, and it's climbing a lot slower. And even though it's only like a 68% rock, the mass is actually 1, where a lot of those ones before were like 0.7, 0.6, 0.8. It's still going to be a pretty easy break. It just takes more power. And then again, like I said, once you get into the green, then you got to drop back a little bit on the power to keep it level. So it's not climbing very quickly, if at all. You want to try to prevent it going down, but you don't want it to climb anymore. You'll notice that those little purple chips just started sliding around. When you're on a hill like this, you'll have that quite a bit. Like I said, I'm not going to go crazy running all over the place trying to pick up 1s and 2s. Just because if I can reach it, great. Or if I have a reason to go over there later, I will. But a lot of times what will happen is you'll get stuff on a hill like this, and it will start funneling down into a certain area. Once you get comfortable with it and confident, you can actually jack the power up even on the easy rocks that are smaller until you get closer, and then back off Just helps you charge a little faster and save time. But I would take your time for now when you're first starting out. Alright, you'll notice those sliding down the hill. Just, you know, exactly what I said. And in a case like this, when they're sliding down the hill like that, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll pick up like what's up high real quick, just so I can move forward and get the other rocks. And I'll just go down at the end and pick up the big batch of them. As you can tell, we're sitting at 1 mass and 91.21% Hadanite, and it's showing instability and all that is. It's showing it's a medium instead of an easy break. So this is all underneath the scan results. Scan results there. I found with the ROC that it's actually pretty accurate. With the Prospector, not so much. But the ROC is actually pretty spot on. I mean, if it's easy, it's easy. If it's medium, it's medium. If it's hard, it's hard. Haven't really seen too much in the way of impossible with the rock mining. At least I haven't run into any yet. Alright, and again, you can see them all sliding around. So I'll pick up what's close up here, and then we'll move on down the hill. But basically I want to pick up what's up here so I don't have to drive over it. Forget about it. And then if you can't see the rocks, just hit tab and it'll come back up. Now obviously if you change the ping keybind, you'll need to hit whatever you're using. Then you can actually reposition the rock as needed, and you don't have to put the mining head away. You can do it while you're still running. Alright, let's go ahead and next one here. Looks like we got about, what, 7 or 8 rocks or so left. Alright, and then we'll just keep going. And you'll probably likely have to maneuver the rock around to be able to reach stuff. Driving over the previous rocks you broke doesn't always work. Sometimes it gets hung up, sometimes not. Apparently I forgot to get rid of global chat. It is unfortunately not G-rated. Sometimes when you're doing this rock mining, you gotta just turn the laser on and wait a few seconds until it pops up with the charge window. And we're at a point right now where it's pretty much all sliding down the hill, except for a little bit of it. So I'll go ahead and break these that are together, and then I'll pick up and move on to the next group. And sometimes you got to reposition. There we go. This one's taking a little bit. Alright, let's keep breaking this. Where'd he go? So we'll get these last couple broke up, and then we'll actually take and get loaded up and head out to sell. As you can see, this one's actually taking a little bit. Alright, get some charge up here now. And there we go, finally. That one took a bit. Go ahead and get these loose ones up here picked up before we crack those last few rocks. Alright, looks like we got 4 more to go. But switch back over to fracture. Again, left alt and the left mouse button. Go ahead and wait for the charge window to show up. A little bit of lag on the server. There we go. It still has its bugs right now, but it is actually running pretty good. And we got some mission contract bugs. People are having issues with them, but mining and salvage seems to be working pretty good. Which is, you know, about time, considering how long we suffered. This one's not quite one mass, so a little quicker. Get some picked up here. Alright, next one. Back to fracture. We just kind of rinse and repeat after the first couple. Just keep cracking them, picking them up. Pick up what accumulates down at the bottom afterwards. Go ahead and get this other one cracked. Make sure you're not putting much into it until you get that charge window show up. Otherwise you could find yourself overcharging and blowing it up. That will blow the rock. Alright, almost there. There we go. See if we can grab this one too. Don't pick everything up together. Hear it bubbling. That's what it sounds like anyway. Alright. And we'll start picking everything up. We'll have to make a couple little, run around a little bit and pick up the rest. Away. Pick all this up. Kind of stubborn, isn't it? Down over the hill. This one seems to have thrown them quite a ways. Not going to worry about chasing individual rocks. Alright, let's go get this unloaded. Gotta kind of get this taken care of because I don't have a lot of time left on the rental. And it literally will take the rental back whether you're flying around in it or not. Alright. Being a little disagreeable. Make sure you leave, when you back it in, make sure you leave enough room to unload. Alright, now we'll run around back. Maybe we'll go around the other side. Yeah, I'm not sure why it does that. But it is annoying. Didn't seem to do it when I had it in a Spirit C1. Only seems to be doing it in the Cutlass Black. Alright, same as before. Take him about 100 at a time, then put them in the box. Well, first you have to grab them, move them to your inventory. Then we'll transfer them to the other box. And we're about 100,000 credits is about 300 rocks. So And we'll have a little over that. Looks like we'll be probably right around 360, maybe 370. All right. There you go, 368. So we'll definitely have over 100 grand there. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this rock out just because we don't need it anymore. The expiration, it's getting ready to expire soon, and it'll just disappear. Same thing with the Cutlass Black. If you don't have it landed somewhere, you'll lose whatever's in it. So right now the priority is going to be get this rock out of here, jump back in the Cutlass Black. We're going to take off and go land and unload the crate, and then we'll load it into a cutter to go sell it. Or we'll try to go to Orison and sell since we're right here, but failing that, we'll call the cutter. We'll see what happens. Apparently it's not going to give me any markers yet. There we go. So we'll go to Orison. Alright. Yep, go ahead and get this on the landed in the hangar, get it unloaded. That way if the ship gets taken back from the rental, it won't matter. Always be aware of that. So you get, typically if you rent it for 24 hours, you get literally exactly 24 hours down to the minute and a second. So there is no forgiveness whatsoever. And it doesn't care whether you're in between quantum jump or not. That ship will just be gone. And you'll be floating in space. Unless they've changed it, but as far as I know, they haven't. Alright. Flying into Orison. Once you actually get in here, you can actually look. That's what you're looking for right there, that little spider looking thing. That's where the spaceport is. At night it will actually show a light. Oop. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a 30K. So as you can tell, I was flying and went past it because it disconnected me. So, but we're back in it now. And we'll go ahead and get up here and get a hangar. Seems to have a little jittering here. Not sure what that clicking is. seem to be having this bug right now where your throttle sticks wherever you got it. So usually the way to fix that is to put it in, hit decoupled, and then hit it back, and then set your cruise and undo it. And a lot of times that will clear it up. What is that clicking? See if that did it. Nope, still got it for some reason. And my hanger's closing. Okay. So we'll have to get another hanger. And you pretty much have to wait until it closes completely before it'll give you another one. Okay, so we had a little issue. Had another 30K. It's basically that black screen that pops up. It's like a 30,009 or something. But basically you can't do anything. It's just disconnected. So I've actually looked. Well, it actually spawned me in the hab. I'm going to go check and see if my ship is actually stored in the hangar. Then we'll unload it. Usually it'll go one of two ways. It'll either go... Sometimes it'll go back to the last station you were at. Usually. So when we get there, I fully expect we're going to find that it's probably back at Port Tressler where we got it. Since I hadn't landed anywhere since then. So we'll probably have to fly back there and hopefully get there before the timer runs out. And then we'll have to call it up and unload it. Now, don't freak out if this happens. Usually your ship will be fine, your cargo will be fine. You just have to go to where it's at. So it's part of the 30K protection that they did. There we go. Sounds like I got rid of that ticking now, finally.
Enjoying the view? Our recently redesigned Crusader Industries shuttlecraft feature expanded vista opportunities.
So we'll go back to the spaceport here and check and see where it's at. If it's here, we'll go ahead and unload it, call the cutter up. Well, actually, we might just go ahead and sell it. If it's not here, we'll fly to wherever it's at and get it. And you can actually come here and call up your ship. Now see, it's saying that it's a Port Tressler. So let's go see if we have a hangar, or we'll claim our cutter. We'll fly our cutter there.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
Yeah, it's not letting me expedite it. It looks like we got about 45 minutes. So, it's not letting me expedite that. Maybe it'll let me deliver the Pisces. Yep. Alright, well, let's go see if we can get a hangar. Sometimes these ASOP terminals now, since they came out with the personal hangars, sometimes they're a little jacked up. So we'll go here and check.
Welcome to the ASOC
Alright.
vehicle retrieval system.
Alright, so now we can expedite it.
Thank you.
I'm going to use the cutter just because I know it'll make one long jump. I don't remember if the Pisces has enough range to get to Microtech. So we'll go ahead and use the cutter. We still got 43 minutes. So we should be able to get there and get it unloaded. Assuming we don't have any more issues.
Your vehicle has. Please visit us again. Goodbye. Welcome to the ASOC vehicle retrieval system. Please visit us again.
Alright. Alright. Let's go ahead and jump in the cutter and head out. Again, can't say enough. This is like the ultimate starter ship. Higher capacity than it says it has. A lot of range to be able to fly around the system. And you can even fit like a Pulse, and I think you might even be able to fit a STB in it. You used to be able to. There we go. Alright, now obviously I'll be eliminating some of the jump out of this so you don't have to sit through the whole 50 something jump.
Your systems are online. Launch complete. Landing gear up.
Alright. So we'll get out of Orison here, head out the hangar and go up. Basically just go out, switch to SEM, or from SEM to nav. It's usually your, well, if you haven't changed it, it'll be the B button. You'll start out going slower until you get somewhat out of atmosphere. Then it'll go a little faster. Go ahead and set our jump here. We're going to go to Port Tressler. Alright, so now we're just waiting for it to go green so we can jump. Alright. A lot of these new player videos, I try to actually show some of the flight, because that's really the bread and butter of the game. You pretty much have to get used to doing that, get proficient at it. So I mean, don't be afraid to take missions that are strictly about flying, whether it be hauling missions, whatever the case may be. Apparently our thing disappeared. If you have problems like that, just go ahead and remap when you get to the planet. Then it'll usually show you the OM you need to go to. Alright. So obviously you can tell which side is up. If you see all that down there below, that's right in front of us, that's the bottom of the station. The 2 or 3 bars up top going up, that's the top. So we're just going to fly till we get close enough, usually within somewhere between 5 and 10K, and then we'll switch over to SEM. If you're not proficient at flying yet, I would start switching to SEM about 10K to get used to it, and then you can always go closer and closer as you get used to flying. Alright, looks like we're on the other side here. Right there. And we're having that issue again. There we go. So basically you just go coupled, decoupled, hit the cruise control on and off a couple times until you're clear it. And then if it doesn't clear, then just take your time, pay attention to your throttle, put your landing gear down maybe to slow yourself down when you get close to the hangar. Alright. Yeah, ROC is still sitting in the corner where I abandoned it earlier. I had to go to somewhere else to get the Cutlass Black. Alright. We're on a timeline here. We're not going to worry about refueling or repairing. We're going to go ahead and get this stored so we can bring the Cutlass Black up. We'll make sure our SCU box is in there. Get it taken out. That way if the Cutlass Black gets returned, we won't lose it.
Welcome to the ASOC vehicle.
Alright, so we'll store that. We'll pull the Cutlass Black once it's stored.
Goodbye. Welcome to the ASOC vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle has been delivered to the Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Oh, the time it takes. Alright. We'll get our container off of here. Assuming it's still there where it should be. And there it is. Make sure it's got our gems in it, and it does. Go ahead and take and set it on the freight elevator for now while we call up the cutter. Now again, they for those who were rock mining before, like previously patches, they you don't sell at the admin terminals anymore. You actually sell at the TDD for gems now. Alright. Let's go ahead and store that, get the cutter out, and we'll head to Port Babbage.
Vehicle retrieval
Or
system.
New Babbage.
Your vehicle has been delivered.
Oh, whoops.
Goodbye.
Always store your ship first. I'm not sure what's going to happen this time. I told her to retrieve the cutter. So, hopefully it'll work. Theoretically, it should store the Cutlass black and bring the cutter up, but we'll see. Alright. There we go. So it actually did work that time. I mean, that's the way it should work. Even when there's ships on the pad, it should store it first. But it doesn't always. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get that open. We'll go grab this box. Alright, get it closed and we'll get out of here.
Your systems are online. Landing gear up.
Alright. So we'll turn the engines on, pull the landing gear up after you take off. Head out of the hangar here. We'll point down to... We'll cancel that. We'll go out here and point down at Microtech. You have to jump to the planet before you can jump to someplace on it. Alright. And now down to New Babbage. here to the spaceport. You can see the flashing white lights. That's they added those in 324, 323, 323.4, or before that actually, but 323 dot something. So pretty much all the spaceports on the major planets have the lights now. Area 18 actually has a line of them that go up in the air above the spaceport. Orison has a flashing light. Can't remember if Hurston has them or not, but HRSA has those big Tursa spaceport signs hanging up in the air, so it's easy to see where the landing is for that. Typically, if you have a small hangar, you're going to end up on the front here, so you can just go ahead and kind of line up that area. Mediums are typically going to be like up above there, right above that, in that area, and then those big towers standing behind is going to be usually your large and extra large, I think. Alright, wait for the doors to open here. Get in here and land. Alright, we'll go ahead and get this moved over after we refuel. Now that we're not on a timeline. If you have trouble refueling or repairing, just keep going back and forth between tabs until it actually comes up where you can click on it. Not sure when they're going to fix that, because it's annoying as can be, but it is what it is. Alright, let's get this box off here. I'll be much happier when this is all stowed and sold. Go over here to the freight elevator and send it down. Go over to the inventory and move it. Go ahead and store the ship too while we're at it.
To the ASOC vehicle retrieval sim. Your vehicle has been moved to please visit us again.
It's not showing the cut list because this hangar is too small for it. Alright, go to container. And that's not good. Why is it not showing me my gems? Let's try it again here. Still not showing them. Okay. Let's go pull it back up and take a look. Alright, go to containers here. And, okay, now I'm showing two. That's 368, 554. We'll just move them both. The 368 should be the one we need. Just so you know, it takes like 1,000 Hadanite to make an SEU. So, alright, so there it's showing them. What's in this other one? It's not showing anything in there. Alright. Alright, well, let's just go ahead and move these over to the inventory. We'll just do it manually so we can get it done. I guess technically I could have just taken the box over here, but we'll just run it back and forth. It's not that far. Should be about 3 more trips. These are the workarounds sometimes you gotta do. I mean, the game's got its bugs, it's got its issues. It's probably running a lot smoother than it has in years, but it's still got issues. And it also depends on the day. Some days it runs better than others. I'm doing a lot of this when a lot of the kids are on Christmas break. College kids are home from school. A lot of people are coming back for 4.0 that weren't playing. So the servers are seeing a lot of stress. Not sure if SIG really realized how much demand there was going to be. Alright, and this should be the last load. And then we'll go sell. Send these back down. Have to figure out what's going on with that one crate, but I don't need to do it now. Get this moved over. Usually should be under the other tab. Go ahead and stack all these up. Alright, and now let's head into the TDD. Let's go get them sold. Alright, take the transit over. Alright. Get on the train here. We want to go to the Commons at New Babbage. The Commons is where the TDD is. The Providence platform is where the admin terminal is. And it should be the first stop. I guess I could have made this a little shorter trip for you. But get to see the skyline. What more could you ask for? Alright. Should be coming up on the stop here. Alright, get out here, go to the left.
The capsule will be leaving the station momentarily.
I'm going to go up the stairs here. Just keep going up the stairs. So you get up here to the Commons. And then once we get up here, we're going to go to the plaza, which is over here to the left. Do a little plug here while we're running straight through to get to there. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns about any of the videos I put up, please by all means let me know in a comment. Obviously, if you find them useful, please like and subscribe. Alright, let's see. So you go in here, select your location. In this case, we're going to go with New Babbage. We'll select what we want to sell. Hit sell. That's only going to do 100. So I'll have to do this a couple more times, but you see it's like 30-something thousand per. So it ends up working out to about 350, I think, if I remember right. Well, actually about 100, 110. So anyway, have a good day.